What's the difference between antivirus and filtering?
It can save you a lot of grief. It can protect you against phishing attacks, ransomware, malware.
How does filtering help me in the work I do for my church? What do most people use to filter their website traffic?
Most people don't do any kind of filtering at all. And it's really more than website traffic, it's all internet traffic. Because whether you're aware of it or not, your computer is communicating over the internet probably more behind the scenes that you never know about or see than it is right there in a web page in a browser.
Yeah.
So most people don't do it at all.
What's the risk of that?
So filtering, if you have a good filter, it can save you from a lot of grief. So the way that you get ransomware is often by clicking on a link that you shouldn't click on. And a good filter will keep that link from working. It may not prevent, it probably won't prevent you from seeing the link, but if you click on it, it's going to go through the filter, and the filter is going to say, this is dangerous. I'm not going to allow you to click on this unless you give special permission, and maybe not then. So it protects you against malware. It can protect you against phishing attacks. A phishing attack is when someone tries to contact you and get personal information from you in order to steal your identity, steal your information, steal your money.
So you're talking about malware and phishing attacks and how filtering protects you from that, but you also mentioned that during antivirus. So what's the difference between the antivirus software and filtering if they're both solving the same problem?
Yeah, great question. It goes back again to those layers of defense. So when a phishing attack can get through one layer, let's hope that you have more layers in place that even if it makes it through another layer or two, there is a layer that eventually stops it.
Gotcha. So the way I'm starting to understand these different layers, we've talked about antivirus backups, and now we're talking about filtering. It sounds like my computer is like an old medieval castle that you would build a wall around to protect the castle. But if you had a bigger castle, maybe you'd have more walls. So it sounds like your layers of defense are kind of like maybe an inner wall and then an outer wall protecting my castle, but my castle is my computer.
Yes, and don't forget the moat.
Gotcha.
And you have all these layers of defense that if they get past one, now they're going to have to get past the other one, the next one. And hopefully you can take care of the threat before it gets past that layer.
Gotcha.
And that same concept is true with computers and security. You want as many layers of defense in place as possible to prevent as many successful attacks as you can.
Yeah. So how does filtering help me in the work that I do for my church, from your experience?
So filtering not only protects you from malware and under that ransomware and phishing attacks and things like that, it also protects you from inappropriate content. So again, at a church, you don't want any of those things making it through your layers of defense. And the more you protect that computer, the easier it is for you to stay on your mission. God gave you a mission as a church worker to do kingdom work. And if you're distracted by all of these other things, like the things that come through filtering, then that is time that you're not working on your mission.
So if I was a user with a content filter on my browser or on my computer, and I were to hit some type of inappropriate content, what would that look like?
First of all, everything on your computer is filtered. So let's say you got a piece of ransomware on your computer, and it's trying to encrypt your hard drive behind the scenes. It's trying to contact its home servers to get directions. And hopefully that filter would be a layer of defense against that. But when you're using your computer, you're browsing using Edge or Chrome or Safari or whatever it is that you're using. And if you go to, say, a gambling website and gambling is blocked, then it would just pop up and say, this site is blocked. It would give you the opportunity, depending on the filter, to have that site submitted for review, because sometimes sites are inappropriately or incorrectly categorized. And so if you say, this is really a good site and I need to get to this site, submit, basically, then whoever's on the other side of that, they would check that, verify it, and they would unblock it.
Gotcha.
Now I should specify, that's really for only a managed filter. There are filters out there that are basically filtered, they're managed by you, and so it would be up to you to know how to do all of that. But if you have a managed filter, then you have someone to submit that to, and they can quickly respond to you and unblock it if it's appropriate. Or say, you know what, I think you have a typo in there, and if you would just fix that typo, you go to the correct website. But this one really is a dangerous site. The good filters will prevent you from using a non-safe search setting in any search engine. So that's a way a lot of people get around filters, is that they really never go to the website, they just search for it. But if you have safe search turned on in the search engine,
It
then
stops it there as well.
most of that content will be blocked. Now, we should say that the best thing that can be said about the best filter, content filter in existence, is that it reduces exposure to inappropriate content.
Yeah.
If someone still wants that content and they're working hard to get it, then they can almost always find it no matter what filter is on the computer.
Yeah. Our mission with System Shepherd is to keep you on mission. If you want to learn more about how you can use System Shepherd for your church computer, click the link in the description.